My angle grinder makes strange noises recently. Either it chewed up its own teeth, or the ball bearing took a spill. I will take it apart and see what the problem is. Let's crack it open. This gear looks good. No missing or chipped teeth. Let's dig deeper. Careful, I don't want to pull the rotor here. The ball bearing went south. I pull out the outer ring. This gear looks okay. Now I have to grab the rotor to unscrew the small nut on the front of the shaft. The internals look okay so far. Now I will carefully pull out the rotor. The brushes are in. I don't want to crush them. I know, one can take brushes out first. But like Frank Sinatra, I did it my way. I push the brushes in to let the ball bearing pass through. The rotor is out. The brushes in place. The commutator looks as it should. The back ball bearing turns okay. Copper coils didn't change color, which is good sign of no overheating. I grab the rotor and crack loose the nut. I not only have the same size bearing, but I have the choice. Here is one with shields. But as you can see, there is a small opening next to the inner ring. Nasty dust can be introduced there and ruin the thing. The other one is sealed. The obvious choice is this sealed ball bearing here. On the shaft it goes. Ready. Now I will put the rotor back in, being careful with the brushes. I spread the brushes for the bearing. It went through. Now I will slide in the commutator, spreading the brushes. Everything in place. Now I will remove the old grease that can carry old bearing debris. I don't want any objects to get into gears. The gear housing is clean. As you can see, I have here a plain bearing, which is normal in cheap machinery. A good angle grinder will have here a needle roller bearing. Before I will pack this grinder with fresh grease, I will assemble it a little bit more. When the gears are rotating with high speed, the grease is thrown out of the gear wheels. It is written on the sticker that this grease tends to stay put. It also withstands high temperatures, which is good. You don't want the grease to turn into liquid. I pack it, especially into gears. I put it back together and make sure the teeth mesh together before tightening bolts. Time to check if it works. Before plugging it in, I check the switch position. Because the switch can be faulty, it is a good idea to keep the grinder while plugging it in and be prepared that it can start. It's alive. And now a few words about angle grinder in general. This relatively small machinery can cause nasty injuries. Always keep on the guard. Check if the cutting wheel is intact. When you install a new wheel, do it the right way. It is important to have a good control over the grinder. This grinder has 3 handle mounting ports, which is good depending on the task you perform. Because an angle grinder can be used for a variety of jobs, it is a good idea to have several of those, so you don't have to change discs constantly. I use this angle grinder for cutting metal. This one for grinding. Nice mechanism to rotate the shield. No screwdriver needed. But it doesn't have the 3rd handle port. Another one with a flap disc. With screw-regulated guard and no 3rd port. Yet another one with a wire brush. Easy shield setup. Third port for the handle. Face shield. At least safety glasses. Ear muff. Protect your ears. And the mask. Especially when you grind anything or when you cut masonry. By the way, here is the wheel to cut ceramic and masonry. Some guys collect cars. I can afford the grinder collection. Hey, this red one looks like Ferrari.